Elon Musk's new timeline for the Starship's first orbital flight. The Starship is Elon Musk's super heavy rocket that he hopes will take humans to Mars before the end of this decade. It will also transport NASA astronauts to the moon after SpaceX won a bid to develop a human lander for the Artemis mission in addition to the Space Launch System, SLS. Several tests have been taking place in Boca Chica, Texas, as part of the development of the ambitious rocket. While it isn't the first time Musk has talked about a first orbital flight, it wasn't until recently that a more concrete timeline began to materialize. Welcome back to Tech Trends for All. Before we proceed, kindly subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to stay updated when we release new videos. Without further delay, let's dive in. Following the trademark of all SpaceX rockets, the Starship will be fully reusable. Its unique design makes it the world's most powerful launch vehicle ever developed, and it will have the ability to carry more than 100 metric tons to Earth orbit. The Starship system consists of a super heavy booster and a 165-foot-tall upper stage spacecraft called Starship. It stands at 394 feet tall, 31 feet more than the legendary Saturn V, and 73 feet more than NASA's SLS rocket. The super heavy booster alone is powered by 33 new generation Raptor engines, while other SpaceX rockets such as the Falcon 9 used Merlin engines. Even if a successful orbital flight occurred as early as September, it would still come after NASA's SLS Artemis I launch. Although both NASA and SpaceX are commercial partners, there has been an implicit race between the two super heavy rockets to see which one would successfully go orbital first. The SLS is scheduled to launch no earlier than August 29 on its first uncrewed test flight to lunar orbit. Starship spacecraft's prototype Ship 24 has already performed successful high-altitude tests and been rolled to the launch pad at SpaceX's Starbase facility in South Texas. Making the repairs for Booster 7 might reduce the broadness of the announced timeline. It is also speculated that Musk could decide to fast-track the new prototype Booster 8. There are many moving parts that could fall into place within the next month, which follows SpaceX's tradition of testing and fixing as they go. If Musk's optimism pays off, maybe the second half of this year will be marked by launching two of the biggest rockets ever built. The issue is that the regulatory body in the USA, the Federal Aviation Administration, is still dragging its feet on issuing a launch license. In addition, the FAA was supposed to complete its environmental assessment within a fixed time period, but the FAA has been extending the deadline by weeks and months. Initially, the FAA was supposed to complete its assessment by the end of 2021. But the deadline has been repeatedly pushed back, most recently from the end of April to the end of May 2022. And now the FAA has given itself 2 more weeks. But Elon Musk's Starship has been ready to go for over a year, and its launch has been delayed due to the FAA. Now let's talk about Elon Musk's Starship. When Elon Musk started SpaceX, his vision was to make it possible for humans to live on other planets. Musk firmly believes that settling humans on other worlds, such as Mars, could preserve human civilization if the Earth were to experience a cataclysm, such as an enormous asteroid impact. Back in 2016, Elon Musk stated history is going to bifurcate along 2 directions. One path is we stay on Earth forever, and then there will be some eventual extinction event. The alternative is to become a spacefaring civilization with a multi-planet species, which I hope you would agree is the right way to go. Musk has often spoken about his dream of building cities on Mars. He believes that settlements would need large numbers of people in order to become self-sustaining. Realizing this dream requires a vehicle that's up to the task. Musk's Starship is a rocket and spacecraft combination that could carry more than 100 people at a time to the Red Planet. At present, the plan is for SpaceX to launch a Starship prototype paired with a super heavy booster for the first time ever. The vehicle would blast off from the company's Starbase facility in Texas for a brief flight to orbit, and then return for a water landing off the coast of Hawaii. If we look at the systems in place, the core idea is to make it fully and rapidly reusable. Being fully reusable means the hardware will not be discarded in the sea or allowed to burn up. Instead, it will return to the ground so that it can take to the skies again. Then we have rapid reusability. Musk wants the Starship to be able to come back from space and then be ready to go again in a short period of time. So it would stop for refueling and some maintenance, and then it would fly again. This reduces the cost of the whole enterprise. Now let's look at the spacecraft. The spacecraft has a nose cone and landing fence. It looks a bit like the shiny spacecrafts that we used to see in the 1960s and 70s. but there's nothing retro about them. In the rear, there are 6 highly efficient and modern Raptor engines that were developed by SpaceX. Towards the middle of the vehicle, we have propellant tanks. These tanks contain the liquid methane and liquid oxygen that will be used by the Raptor engines. Since the spacecraft will have to make the trip all the way to Mars, this mixture of methane and oxygen is ideal. Both methane and oxygen can be synthesized on Mars using the resources of the planet, so the ship could be refueled on Mars itself for the return leg of its journey. The Super Heavy will take the spacecraft to its intended orbit above Earth. After it's done with that, it detaches and falls back to Earth. On its way down, the Super Heavy will deploy its fins. These fins look a bit like potato waffles. These fins will help steer the rocket back toward its launch pad, so it can be flown again. With SpaceX and Elon Musk, everything is a bit extreme. So SpaceX has an ambitious plan to then catch the falling booster using its launch tower. A pair of steel arms will extend out from the launch tower. The grid fins will then take the load as the spent booster falls onto these arms. The tower has been dubbed Mechazilla because of its resemblance to a creature from the Godzilla movies. Now let's look at what plans Elon Musk has in store for the Starship. It seems like it would take up to 9 months for a trip to Mars, so Musk plans to install around 40 cabins in the payload area. In addition, there would be common areas storage space, a galley and a shelter where people could gather to shield themselves from solar storms. The system could also be used for space tourism. Elon Musk has promised a trip around the moon in 2023 to the Japanese online retail billionaire Yusaku Mizawa. Musk says that the Starship could eventually carry people to destinations in the greater solar system, including gas giants such as Jupiter. But this remains a long-term objective. In addition, the Starship will also play a key role in NASA's Artemis program, which aims to establish a long-term human presence on the moon. Back in April 2021, the U.S. Space Agency awarded SpaceX with a $2.89 billion contract to develop Starship into a lander capable of delivering astronauts to the lunar surface this decade. And that's a wrap. That's all I have for you guys for today. If you liked watching this video, please make sure to click the like button, subscribe to our channel, and click the bell icon so that you may be notified when we upload a new video. Thanks for watching.